Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All2ReelToo. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame, maybe I was wrong. Maybe Doug can hurt someone in Carto.
Yes, maybe he can.
Maybe.
We are talking about the Nickelodeon Disney character Doug from Doug Funny, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes. Who is that? I know it sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Doug Funny. He was a character. He had a dog named Pork Chop, and
okay,
he had his
I remember.
Ego is Quail Man and different things like that. Friend named Skeeter, and
Okay, I think I remember now. Yeah, he can definitely hurt. And what I mean by that, I don't mean that like he has permission to hurt someone. I mean like he has like the capability of hurting someone.
Yes, with his heart, he can break your heart. Yes,
yeah, sure.
Because he's a lady killer.
Hopefully not literally.
And speaking of lady killers, today on the show we are covering the 1999 film The Minus Man, which was based on a book by Lou McCreary that came out in 1991. The log line here on the Internet Movie Database says, aimless Van Siegert takes a bizarre turn in life and becomes a serial killer, tracking down the miserable, the self-destructive, and those who otherwise seem willing to die. I don't know if I like that. But anyways,
I don't think that's very accurate, but yeah, okay.
Oh. I mean, it can kind of apply, but not really. This movie was directed and co-written by Hampton Fancher. Hampton Fancher he was the writer of Blade Runner, the writer of Blade Runner 2049, The Mighty Quinn. He's also an actor, and this is the only thing he's ever directed, though.
Okay.
So yeah. Lou McCreary, who wrote the book, this is the only book of his that was adapted into film or TV. So, yeah.
Interesting.
The movie stars Owen Wilson as Van, Sheryl Crow as Casper or Lori, Dwight Yoakam as Blair, Dennis Haysbert as Graves, Alex Warren as a state trooper, Mercedes Ruehl as Jane, Brian Cox as Doug, Eric Mabius as Gene, Larry Miller as Paul, Janeane Garofalo as Farron, and various other people. So, yes, the movie currently holds a 6 out of 10 star rating on the Internet Movie Database. I think it deserves a higher rating, but it's not bad. But yeah, here's another little synopsis here that might be better than the one above. Just to give it to you, that they have here a storyline. It says a cold-blooded serial killer floats around the country and chooses his victims from people who complain about their lives and indicate willingness to be killed. His murders are introduced with the killing of an asthmatic junkie. The killer settles into a seaside rooming house run by an unhappy married couple and waits for his next victims to unveil themselves. Dream cops plague his nights while plotting his murders. Meanwhile, he also starts a relationship with a postal clerk. It's a little bit better. This movie's hard. This movie's hard to summarize. It's like a lot happens, but a lot doesn't at the same time. It's like I've some of the reviews I've read on here that were like bad reviews are just like is slow and boring. And it's like, you
Not
obviously don't understand how all movies, and that's why one of the things I've been on a kick about lately is that people need to be taught media literacy.
Yeah.
And to understand the idea of art in the various forms that it comes in, and that not everything has to be boom, bang, stabby or something for it to be good, Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Be sure to go to our Patreon where you can donate to my next movie that's called Boom Boom Stabby. And no, it's not. I'm just joking, folks. But do go to our Patreon.
But we do have a bunch of cool shit there. So
yeah, and if you want me to make a movie called Boom Boom Stabby, I could write that.
Yeah, there's also a lot of yeah, I know. There's also a lot of it's up to interpretation as well in this movie. So
it's not everything is like spelled out for you, which is kind of cool because it's cerebral in a way,
Yeah.
So what was your initial reaction here to this film?
I liked it. I remember I first saw this movie actually a really, really long time ago. I only watched it once. I think it was like probably around like 2004. I think it was on like Showtime or HBO or something. Because I was rich, man. We had HBO but for like a year. but I watched one of those. What's that?
Toilet too? Did you have a gold-plated toilet too?
I had a gold-plated toilet. Yeah. I was redecorating my entire, like, I had like foreign dignitaries and like foreign leaders that would come to my house, and like instead of talking about like really deep issues, I would like look up and go, "What do you think if I put like a plant up there or like some gold?" And they're like, "Oh, Matt, we kind of came here to talk about something else." I understand, but just give me a minute. No,
and then you found out the only reason that they were there is because they wanted to watch The Sopranos or something.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, man. Yeah, so I never watched. I've only watched that like the one episode. You said
I've only seen the pilot. So
the pilot, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I started watching back in December, and I got to like season 2, and I just got bored with it, and I stopped watching. Because that's not my kind of show. It's just not my anyway. So I saw this around 2004. At the time, I was really into these kind of movies. I wasn't really into like the boom boom stabby movies. And so I kind of veered off into those kind of movies over as I've gotten older, because it's like I've done the opposite of what most people do. It's like when I was younger, I was way more mature than I am now, and so it's like I'm like the Benjamin Button, but when it comes to like mental states, not physical. No, I'm serious. I would be like the 11-year-old at like the family Christmas party, like having like deep intellectual conversations, and now I'm like, I don't give a shit about that anymore. Like I want to just like numb my mind. I've
kind of always like straddled both worlds myself in my life, because like when I was a kid, I was basically raised on AMC, American movie classics at the time. So I basically just watched all these old movies and stuff. And so I'd be at the dinner table. We didn't have a dinner table. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'd be like at family gatherings and stuff, and I'd be using like these words from the 1940s and stuff that I learned in these movies. And people are like,
right? They're like, "What the hell are you talking about, boy?"
You're 10. But then I'd also be watching Thundercats and He-Man and stuff too. So it was like, so.
Right.
But yeah, so
yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a really good movie, very suspenseful. I actually had to break it off into 3 different parts to watch the whole movie because it was very uncomfortable in some places. And so I had to do that just to kind of get through the whole movie. But I still liked it.
I love this movie. The first time I saw it, I've probably seen this movie about 10 times in my life. And the first time I watched it was, there used to be this art cinema at a mall by where my mom used to live. And when I would stay at my mom's, sometimes I would walk over there because it was like a block away, literally. And I would just be like, "Oh, what's playing?" I would go in blind, not knowing what I was going to see. I would just pick a movie at random, and I was like, "That one has an interesting name." And I saw the one that said The Minus Man. I was like, "I wonder what that's about." Walked in. I was the only person in the theater. Watched the whole movie by myself, like I did many movies. I discovered some good movies, like I saw the Blair Witch Project there. I saw American Beauty. I saw Red Violin, which is another one of my favorites. All there by myself. Those are the ones I remember off the top of my head. But this one, like I watched this one, and the mall was still open at the time, and there's now a Amazon warehouse there or something. So but
yeah,
I had this thing, like it was getting kind of later at night, but I was just like, I had this so weird, uneasy feeling after watching the movie. I had to walk around the mall a few times to kind of get it out of my head. So
yeah,
I remember
it does
that.
have that feeling. It's a very uneasy. It's a thriller. I mean, I wouldn't know. It's like suspense. There's not really a whole lot of
I mean,
action.
it's suspenseful. It's a slow burn more than anything. It's kind of just like and it's in a weird way like a slice of life movie where it's just like a short time period in this dude's life, and that's all we know. We don't really know much about him before the events of this movie, and we don't know what happens to him at the end really either. So
there's something like I have a few theories kicking around in my head. We'll get into that a little later, but I got some ideas about what could have been happening with him. Probably not true, but I had some thoughts. So like the way we're gonna talk about this, right? Because like there's very little that actually happens in the movie. So like we talk about it, but like
so basically we start out where we meet him, and he goes to this bar and is talking to this kind of mean bartender who's played by John Carroll Lynch, and this woman who goes by Casper, but her real name is Lori. She's a heroin addict, and he just goes. You hear the thing is like narrated too all the time, like he's telling the story. It kind of feels like you're reading a book while you're watching the movie.
Yeah,
and he has this like some kind of poison in his pocket that he puts in his flask of alcohol of some sort, and he gives it to Casper and kills her. And Casper, by the way, is played by Sheryl Crow. So yeah.
He says Amarella, which is like a form of cherry, I think.
Yeah,
cherry. I think it's like a cherry flavored liquor.
Yeah,
I think I don't know.
I know nothing about alcohol, so
yeah.
I don't drink.
I think that's what it is. And
that's,
he just kind of has that on his dashboard.
That's the thing about him, too, is he doesn't drink much at all.
It's weird. So, I think that's the reason why, is because he doesn't want to mix up his accidentally poison and stuff. That scene, though, too, really irked me. I'll right off the bat, I was already starting to feel uncomfortable because, like, we get, like, this cool scene where he's, like, washing his truck for, like, 2 minutes in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that was kind of nice because it just, it just kind of had, like, it was almost like a just pleasant thing to just wash his car. Then he waves at someone. We don't know who he waves at. He waves. It looks like he's staying at like a motel kind of place, like maybe he was living there like in a motel for a while or something. Don't really know who he's waving at. And then he leaves, and then we get to the bar, and like both of them are just like scowling at him, like they're angry. It was weird because the bartender like owns the bar. And like he's mad that like he's getting a customer who's going to pay for the drinks that he's going to use as profits for his business. I'm not sure what the problem with that is, but okay. No. So like right off, that has set me off right off the bat of like, why are you mad that a customer is coming in to buy your beer?
Yeah, it's like
it's not compute for me.
There's something about there's like this picture of this corn queen on the bar too.
That was weird.
And Van starts talking about how corn is good for you or something. It's just like
I don't know if he did that on purpose, like because he saw the picture, because then the guy slams the picture on the bar table or whatever you call it.
The counter or whatever. The actual bar. It's in the beginning too, though, when he's washing his car, the music in this movie is amazing. It's Marco Beltrami. He did a movie for The Faculty, which we've covered before.
Oh right, yeah.
He's done as far as music goes. He did Scream. He did Mimic. He did Scream 2. He did Halloween H2O. He did Faculty. He did Crow Salvation, Scream 3, Angel Eyes, Joyride. I'm just going through random things. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Hellboy, iRobot, the Omen remake, Underworld, Evolution, Max Payne, Jonah Hex, Soul Surfer, Scream 4. It did World War Z,
nice,
Fantastic Four, which we just covered recently. So
yeah.
He did the 2015 one. I'm sorry. which we covered.
We did
recently.
cover that one too.
Yeah. He did, like his most recent thing is, he's doing Scream 7, did Renfield, he did, The Nun 2, he did Silent Night. He's got a lot of horror type stuff mostly, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A Quiet Place. Yeah. So yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. He's a good director, good, music dude.
Cool. A good music dude.
Yeah, that's the official credit, right? Music dude. But yeah, but no, it's like that scene is just it opens up, like you open up with this like pretty scene with the music and everything and him washing the truck. And then you go into this like really uncomfortable scene where you're like, you go from being out in the open to then being in a small bar to then being confined in a truck with Casper and him. So it's like you go from like bigger to smaller. It's just really interesting.
It's like darker too, so it's like not as happy looking. I just can't like because it's like, so I got some theories out of my head, like I said. So like I think a lot of this could also be maybe from his own mind's interpretation of events rather than like what's actually happening, maybe like because he kind of is worried that he might get caught one of these days. So maybe he's just sort of seeing the world as people being suspicious of him because he knows that he's maybe kind of thing, you know what I mean? So like I mean I don't know. I mean, it's meant up for interpretation, a lot of these things. Or the bar guy could just be an asshole and just doesn't like people, you know? You know what I mean? Like,
it could be too. Yeah, it could be heightened in his mind. But it's also, I mean, and it's interesting too, because like I think in some of the descriptions that we read at the beginning, like it is kind of true in my opinion that he's kind of killing off people that don't really have a will to live anymore in certain ways. Some of them, or people that are just doing bad things. So, or just even if they're slightly bad, but it's but like definitely, I mean, you can tell in certain ways that Casper doesn't really want to live anymore. You know, so
with her, that's an obvious call on his part.
It's like he's putting her out of her misery in a way. Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah. Because like, she's probably like the most obvious choice out of all the people he's killed in the movie that we see on screen, at least. Cause like, like she's like, you want to get high? And he's kind of like, how? And then she's like, yeah, pull over. And so she does heroin. I was thinking she meant weed or, you know?
Yeah.
No, she pulls out all the tool kit of, you know, heroin or whatever, gives her a little thing. I mean, I honestly, that could have been something that she could have just legitimately just overdosed on heroin. I mean, like that was that could have been something where she just could have died even without his quote assistant. But yeah, he kind of puts her in the bathroom like a truck stop before cameras were everywhere, so you couldn't get caught for every little thing you did, and put her in the bathroom stall with a needle stuck in her vein to make it look like she had a heroin overdose and died there. But like some of the people he's killed, at least one of the person he's killed, I don't really see the whole like the guy didn't want to live, because like this person had like his whole life in front of him. So
yeah, I think I understand the reasoning behind killing him, but
okay.
So basically, okay, so after that I'm kind of going a little bit, you know, speed run through this. He goes, he moves in with this couple, Doug and Jane, and rents a room that used to be their missing daughter's. And but you know, they say she's off. I mean, the wife says she's off at college, that the daughter's off at college, but we find out that, you know, she's just hasn't spoken to them in years.
Yeah.
And so, but while he's there, he gets a job at the post office through Doug, who works there as well, for like seasonal help during the Christmas season. And then one night, Doug takes Van to a high school football game. While there, we meet this guy Gene, who's like the star athlete of the team, and then his family's there and stuff too. So we see like Doug is like basically, he looks like he has like a man crush on Gene, in my opinion. You know, he's got this sort of hero worship, or like at least like kind of like it, because I think he's like trying to find somebody to fill the void that his daughter left. I don't know if it's a man crush as much as like you know, he longs for that youthfulness that he's missing because his daughter's gone. And and I think he kind of fulfills that with Gene, but then also with Van as well. So basically what he feels is, I think Van has sort of like a jealousy complex to him, even though he doesn't really, because the way that Owen Wilson plays this character, he's very just like subdued, and like you wouldn't notice him. That's why the minus man, like basically just somebody that, you know, you forget about after you meet him, sort of thing.
He's very like sociopathic. Like there's no emotion whatsoever. Like
Yeah.
Well, sometimes there's very, very brief windows where he does show emotions, but it's very, very brief.
I mean, I honestly think this is Owen Wilson's best performance in a movie ever. But
it's not like his usual thing,
no,
like we're
it's not his comedy sort of thing that we're used to. It's not like Wedding Crashers or something. And but like so I think it's in a way too to get into Doug's head in a way to kind of he sees this fact that this couple that he's living with, Doug and Jane, are falling apart because their daughter's gone, and they're basically fighting with each other a lot. And I think through that he sees that like one of the few things that Doug has hope in is the local high school football team and in the future of Gene. And by taking that away from him, he's not really killing Gene as much as he's trying to kill Doug.
Right. But even though he likes Doug, so it's very like,
yeah. So he can't really kill Doug because he likes Doug, but he basically takes this away to make Doug go crazy.
And he's already kind of got problems. He's got bipolar disorder probably. Mm-hmm. And his wife, Jane, said something about he doesn't take his medication or something like that.
Yeah.
So
and then he drinks a lot, and he also beats himself up, literally. So, yeah.
Like, literally beats himself up because he shows up at one point all bloodied up, and then he's like, I got into a fight or whatever. And he's like, what? And then he ends up talking to Jane. Jane's like, she says something really interesting. She says, like, don't, like, the theory I'm building up in my mind is I'm starting to wonder if all of this might just be like a long fantasy in his own mind, because like there's parts in the movie where he like it's like reality and like his dreams kind of mix up with each other here and there, because like so like he faints and stuff like that sometimes, but then when the first time he faints, he wakes up and then Doug comes in, his face is all bloodied up, and so it was like, okay, so he faints, but then Doug shows up and he's all injured at the same exact time. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's interesting of like, and how sometimes I always wonder in this movie if he is actually even doing the things he thinks he's doing, or if he's like completely in a state of psychosis where he just doesn't like, he might be doing this stuff, but then he just kind of loses his sense of reality. And maybe Doug is like him, like a different version of himself, you know, or something like that. Or because I kind of got the idea a little bit that like Doug and Van almost like mirror each other in a lot of ways. Whereas Doug is more outward and showing his mental illness, whereas Van is very much more controlled, but he does break control occasionally, usually just doing something completely nuts for like no particular reason, and then goes back to being in complete control of himself. But then at the same time, he's not in complete control of himself because he's murdering people. So it's like he's in control. He's disciplined enough, but he still has to act on his impulses, but in a weird disciplined way, if that makes any sense at all. Like, it's just because like he doesn't, like he even says, like he doesn't hurt anyone. He doesn't. He's like doesn't bludgeon them or kill them, like,
and he doesn't get any kind of like sexual gratification from the killing either, because like in a lot of ways, like if you stab somebody, that's like it's an obvious like Freudian metaphor for penetration, because it literally is penetration but differently, and people will get serotonin in their brain that makes them happy from doing that in the same way that you do from sex or something. But it's in this, he doesn't really. Sometimes he doesn't even really stay around to find out what happens, you know? So it's like, I don't know I mean, I guess his motivation is like basically helping people in a weird way, you know?
He says that he doesn't even know why he does it. And like you said, like he might be putting people out of their misery, but sometimes he just does it to do it. And like you said, like there's no emotion, like he doesn't express any kind of satisfaction. So it's like he's just doing it just to do it, which makes it even more crazy in my opinion, because like, it's one thing, like, I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but it's like one thing if like, you're like, I really need to do this thing. I've got this crazy compulsion. If I don't do it, I'm just going to drive myself mad. I really need to do it. And then like, this guy's like, I do it because I do it. So it's like, so you took someone's life, but like, you don't even like get anything out of it. So like, in that way, it's quote a waste. I mean, it's a waste no matter what, but I mean, like, it just seems odd to me. Like, I can't really just explain what I mean by saying that. But like, cause I'm not saying like, oh, it's if you're a serial killer, at least you had good reasons. I'm not saying that, but like just him, like almost just like throwing it out there, like it's like, oh well, like this one guy he kills was being kind of an asshole. I don't think he deserved to die, but he was kind of being an asshole at the diner.
No, I mean,
he was,
honestly, nobody deserves to be murdered. Period. But yeah,
yeah, I know. Was being kind of a dick, but
yeah, I'm just saying, even if you're a complete dick, I mean, the only time I think somebody deserves to be murdered is if it's self-defense. And
yeah, being murdered though, it'd just be self-defense though. But
yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, the thing before too, after he had killed Casper, he was sleeping in his car, and I mean in his truck on the beach, and ran into this like state trooper woman who told him to move along. She comes into play later, but yeah. So, but anyways, he ends up, a few days later, he poisons. He has the poison in his flask in his truck. He offers a ride to Gene, and then he kills Gene basically because Gene wants a swig of his alcohol, and he buries him on the beach, which is a stupid place to bury a body.
Well, he even said, too, he has rules about how he does this. And so, he broke 2 rules. One of them was don't ever kill anyone in a place that you're staying, like, permanently or just staying for a while. And what was the second rule? Don't put them somewhere they could be found or something like that. I forgot exactly what.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And he broke both rules with Gene. I just thought about something, too, that could be another reason why he killed Gene that I didn't think about. Because I was saying like how I couldn't think of any reason that you came up with something, but now I just thought during their dinner celebration after the football game, they were saying that he was going to go into the FBI after college. So I don't know if that scared them, spooked them a little bit. Like
possibly. Oh yeah, and his rules here, I got them written. I have them written down here in this thing. It says, "Don't kill anyone you know, and don't kill anyone from your town."
Okay.
So, yeah. And I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with, like, I don't think he was planning necessarily to stay in that town as long, and he kind of got attached to some people. But,
yeah, I think that's what it was. It was, he's like, he doesn't have, like, I don't know. He's just a very deeply troubled man, is what he is.
Like, I mean, I think it's really interesting because it's creepier because we don't know how he grew up.
Mm-mm.
We know something about his dad died. He was taking care of him, and he died. But what does that mean? Does that mean he killed
what does that mean? Did he
take care of? Yeah.
And we don't know too if he's just making his shit up either. You know what I mean? So like he could just be lying about all that stuff. Although,
I mean, for all we know, Van isn't even his real name.
No, it could just be up name because he said he's from Vancouver. That's where he said he came down from, and then which I think he was telling the truth because later on we get some indication of the poison that he's using to kill people. It comes from that region of the world, and that's where he said he was from. So already that's 3 rules because he kind of gave himself away because the police start recovering bodies and they're doing autopsies and they're saying they all have this poison that's a rare type of fungus that's predominantly in the Northwest, like near like Pacific Northwest. And he said he was coming from Vancouver. And so later on, I know we're just jumping around, but that's fine. Yeah. And the woman, Jane, she was kind of standoffish with him at first, but then she kind of grew like sort of like a attachment. I say attraction. I said more of like an attachment to him. It's like they're both kind of like using Van as like their pseudo child, essentially.
Your child,
and so she was kind of getting closer to him. Like she would just sort of like just come in his room without even really getting permission, like kind of like how a parent would do with a child, or like because they don't give a shit. They're like, well, yeah, no, I knocked, but whatever. And so she was always asking him about like a crossword puzzle, like, you know, what's a 4-letter word for this type of thing or whatever. But then she started kind of following the news about what was going on. And I think that he thought that she might be onto something because she was saying that she thought that these deaths could all be connected. And then one night, Jane and Doug are watching the news on TV. And he's kind of like in the background, like either leaving or going somewhere. And then the news reports going on about how they did autopsies on these people. And it was this rare type of fungus. And then the very next scene, or maybe not the very next scene, but later on, the police come and ask Doug to identify a body that they think might be Jane. And then previously before that, Doug had asked Van if he could borrow his truck to go to a dentist appointment, and then suddenly the next day Jane dies, and so it's like, so I'm sitting there thinking Van might have killed Jane, because
my thing though with that is it's like it's pointing you in two different directions. Like, did Doug kill her? Or actually, three different directions. Doug could have killed her. Van could have killed her, but the thing is Van only poisons people.
Well, maybe he made an exception this time. I don't know, because it could be. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be like three directions, or it could have just been a stranger. Just she happened to just meet the wrong stranger.
There also is another scene where he's having a date with this other character, Farron, that we meet, one of Van's coworkers, who is like kind of shy and trying to pursue him, played by Janeane Garofalo, and in another kind of like character that's different than most that she plays. Yeah, she's kind of like outgoing or quirky. She's kind of quirky here, but she's not very she's
shy.
Yeah. So yeah, but like later on, they have this like kind of like date at her place at one point, and they're she's like roughhousing with him, and then he gets on top of her and almost like is like tackling her and like maybe trying to be violent with her, and it's just kind of and freaks her out, of course. So it's like,
well, yeah, because like that scene made me very uncomfortable. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Were you gonna? Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say that scene was like also deeply uncomfortable for me. I mean, obviously, just because of the violence on its own, and that's very. It's like, it's not like a movie where it's like lots of action going on. It's like just this one thing that's going on. So it's like all of the violence is on focus on that one event, but also too, just the idea that like, I don't know what it is lately I've been thinking about. Like I saw this video once recently where it was like a YouTube short or something like that. And it was like this woman's like walking down the street, and then it has like a little text on the background or whatever. It says something like the look I have when I see all the guys I grew up with that were friends of mine now saying all these horrible things about women or whatever. Like basically like her whole mind was like that sudden revelation of like who you thought someone was. But like in this case, it's like for like weeks she's been building up who this guy is in her mind, and then literally within a second that is like obliterated by him like tackling her violently. You know what I mean? And like that sense of shock where that reality sets in, but it's like setting in so fast. You're trying to like just come up with just trying to like think rationally because everything's happening so fast. And like he like banged her head up against the wall, and then like he went and like crawled over like and was like crying like after, I don't know what the fuck his deal. So I don't know. I thought maybe he planned on killing her, but then he couldn't do it, and so he stopped before he could actually go through with it all because he, in his fucked up mind, he thought he actually cared about her.
See, and my thing is I think he did care about her, and I think what happened was that his mind took over in certain ways there. That like he's got this violent streak in him naturally, and that's why he did it. Yeah,
that's it. But maybe also because like maybe he himself was a victim of violence because he is very closed off to physical touch. Yeah. Like he always tried to, and then she literally threw herself at him. This is how this thing started. Yeah. Like they were just having fun, and she was getting flirtatious. What's that?
Prior to that, like their first kind of date, they go to the beach, and and all they do is hug, and they exchange this awkward hug, and it's right over the spot where Van buried Jean.
Is it? Oh, that's fucked up. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's right where Jean's body's found later by a dog.
Oh, wow. That's fucked up. Yeah. That's so crazy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't notice that connection. So it's like he... Yeah. It's very creepy now. Oh God, that's like, it gives me like chills now to think about hugging. Like...
Yeah.
But so he does have this fear of intimacy, and so I could see why he would freak out. I mean, not to the point where he'd get on top of her and be violent, but I can understand the shock of her literally jump. I mean, because like she literally threw herself at him because he was not picking up on any of her advances or just pretending not to notice any of her advances. Probably more so pretending not to notice. And so like I could see someone who is like adverse to like the human touch to them for the most part, or except for like platonic like hugs and that kind of stuff.
It's like I read one review that I can't remember where I read it because it was over the last couple of days about the movie, and somebody was saying that they find the character awkward and they think he might be autistic, and asexual.
I just think he's just crazy. I mean, like,
I think that just gives a bad name to both autism and asexuality. So it's just like,
I think that's reading too much. I think he's just crazy. That's what I think it is. Like, because it's all about control. He has a sense of control that he has. So like that could be all tied into the fear of intimacy and all this stuff because he doesn't want to go wild. He wants everything to be according to like his plan of killing people for whatever reason he has. I don't know. We don't really know what reasons are, but
I mean, one of the things, like, it's like when somebody cuts themselves as like a, like a bad thing, like when girls will cut themselves, or guys as well, like on their arms and stuff when they're in teens or whatever. And, sometimes it's that idea of control, how you feel, cause you're in control of the pain. And I think that has a lot to do with his reasoning for killing people, is because he has control of things, and he's controlling. There might be some buried pain there that he's trying to overcome, and he does it through this killing. But I'm not trying to excuse anything. But
it's like you're trying to psychoanalyze like a person troubled.
So like there's this like thing too on like Christmas Day. Like, I mean, things are getting kind of like Doug and Jane are becoming like overbearing in certain ways, and he kind of just takes off on Christmas so he doesn't have to like spend time with them, I think.
Yeah, he escaped through a window so he wouldn't have to walk down the stairs.
Yeah.
He hides them on his way out or whatever.
He goes to this diner somewhere, and he tries to find another victim, and this was a really interesting little scene. Like he ends up deciding to go home with this woman. He gets there and she's a painter, and then at one point she wants to paint him or sketch him, and he runs out and takes off before that can happen because he doesn't want to have it, so it's like basically like she would have been dead otherwise. So yeah,
she would have been dead, but also that he doesn't want to be sketched so people know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Because no one took any photos. There's no phone cameras back then. There's, it's a little bit different time.
And plus, in certain ways too, it's like when he first met her too, I think it could be another reasoning too, is like, I mean, sure, he didn't want to be sketched to, for people to find him. But I think in certain ways too, once he realized that she actually has a passion about something in life, part of him didn't want to kill her too because of that.
Right. Because she actually,
because like when he met her at the diner, she just seemed like a hopeless woman, a hopeless person without any, sense of meaning in her life. But he realizes that she's a creative person, an artist. And then it's like, she's got to live for.
So it's a really good point. And there's also this later on in the Christmas scene or Christmas Day, where he gets back and like they don't even really notice that like he jumped out of his window or whatever. I don't know. They weren't
or they don't bring it up.
Kind of how did you get out of the house when we didn't ever see you come downstairs? We were down here the entire time.
I mean, it was kind of foreshadowed at one point because when he moved in, like he said that the ad said it had a separate entrance to the room, but the room doesn't have a separate entrance. And he says, unless she means the window. So.
Oh, right. I think she was told that because you'd take the room, or more likely to take the room. And so there's a scene, he comes back, the Christmas party is over, because it was like Gene's parents and he was friends with Gene's dad and stuff.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't know about you, but I really don't like spending time with the parents of somebody I killed.
I would say, that's a good opinion. I mean, I don't know. I haven't killed anyone, but I could see that would be kind of awkward. Yeah,
me either, as far as people know.
Oh wow! Oh my god!
Oh no. Wait, no.
So he gets back, and then they give him a Christmas gift, which again, the boundaries are they're being broken very heavily by, which it is really Doug and Jane's fault to think about it, because they rented a room. And I
think that's where he finds out that she had been sneaking into his room because she snuck in there to find out his shoe size.
Right. So because they gave him a pair of shoes,
a pair of Adidas or something. Yeah. So
really nice walking, because he's delivering the mail now.
Yeah.
Part time, and he's wearing like these really bad loafers or whatever you call them. And like, I think it's like the one time in the entire movie where he actually shows genuine emotion. You could actually see tears in his eyes so it's like, I'm thinking, is this like the first gift he's ever gotten in his life? Like, you know what I mean? Like, like sad if you think about it, you know. I mean, I know he's been killing people this entire time, but it's still kind of sad that like he's got these like pseudo parental figures who are like, they're all like in this very unhealthy relationship with each other, where they're all seem like they're all three of them are trying to make each other become something to replace someone else's life. And so I kind of got that feeling of like how, you know, maybe he never got anything, or maybe he didn't have parents at all, you know, or whatever. So like, and I don't know, to me it didn't look like that was fake tears like he was putting on a show. Like it looked for real. Because normally, you know, like, he's all about control. He's all about controlling his emotions. If someone's like a straight up sociopath, they'll just like mimic emotions. But like he's the opposite, where he like shows like no emotion ever, like the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so for him to immediately start crying would seem kind of out of character for someone who's just like, because like that's the thing too, is like the reason why everyone likes him so much is because he's like an open book. He doesn't really mirror anyone else's emotions, but they put whatever they think onto him, basically, is what it is.
Yeah,
he even mentioned
he kind of becomes like, I think he mentions it at some point. It's like he kind of becomes whatever somebody needs him to be in the moment.
Yeah, and it's usually just the sort of flat effect that I mean, like it's not like he's staring like like he usually has this sort of inquisitive, like he'll smile occasionally, but it's not like a full smile. It's always more of like he's like always like asking himself questions about like what's going on around and like that kind of thing. And like I don't know, he might actually genuinely be curious about these people as well. Like it doesn't have to be one or the other. Like he could just be so crazy that like he likes killing people, but he also just likes to know things about them as well. Like, I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Good movie overall. I would say,
and
a good suspense.
But I mean, the thing is, like, we don't know what happened to Jane. Doug gets arrested for the thing, and you know, Van eventually leaves town, so we don't know what happens to him. He puts his uniform in a mailbox, and then he puts an envelope in there marked Farron with some hair in it that fell out of his head. Yeah.
Was that meant to like be like a DNA thing? Like, does he want to be caught for all the murders he's done?
Or like it's like, I don't know. It's like he talked to her at one point about how he was losing like 100 hairs a day. But
also maybe that was called back to that.
Yeah, maybe.
But still, I think like
it's so weird. It's like, I don't know why he did it. Like, is he trying? Like you're saying, is he trying to get caught? Because you know, makes you think that maybe some of his hair had fallen on Jean or Casper's body or something. You know?
Yeah, because he did. Like they only need like a little tiny bit of DNA to you know, get you, and so but then he goes and gives her a complete, and plus too they left on bad terms, so it's like not like she'd be wanting to protect him, you know, or whatever.
And so, it's like, I mean, I don't know. And if it was a romantic gesture, I think giving somebody my hair would be a weird. I mean, I know sometimes you put hair in a locket or something, but it's just kind of weird.
He's a weird dude. I mean, like he doesn't have normal reactions to anything when it comes to like a relationship, and I think that's the reason why he was able to get along with Doug so easily, because you know, Doug obviously has like mood swings and shit, but like he is able to kind of handle those mood swings a little bit better because he's so like emotionally detached, you know. I mean, at one point he does stop him from hitting, so there is that one point where he does show a little bit of anger or force to stop him hitting himself. So I guess there is that one scene, but like for the most part, he's kind of able to sort of rein Doug in a little by like, I don't know how, it's not like enabling him necessarily to like do his mood swings, but like more, this is a new phrase people use, like giving space, leaving space, which whatever. It's like a new term people have been using, but like giving him space to kind of do the crazy shit a little bit, but then to kind of reel him back in, instead of just like, don't do that, because then that's going to make you more like stressed out and shit like that. You know, and so I think that's one of the reasons why he and Doug were able to kind of get on much better than Doug would with like Jane or other people in town.
Yeah.
It's just my own theory, I don't know. And but like, and there was like a little cool thing too about the poison, of how just to show like how much in control he is about this stuff. So he actually had his poison hooked up to the bottom of his truck and like a twisty thing, and then he twisted off. He put that on top of the the booze, the what do they call it? Not the canteen,
flask.
He put that on top of the flask to make it look like it was like the handle, and then he put the poison there. And the reason why is because it's really really sweet, so people wouldn't taste the bitterness of the poison or whatever. Even then, they probably it's liquor. I don't care. And then because like there's one scene where he goes underneath his truck, he screws it off, and then so it's like that was a way of hiding evidence, I guess, so to speak. Because it's kind of smart, because most people aren't going to really check for something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's not the first that be on someone's mind. So that was pretty smart on his part. But you want to talk about the ending, about the state trooper again?
So it's like at the end, he's driving away in his truck, and we see that state trooper from earlier, that woman that stopped him on the beach, and she puts her like spotlight on his face as they're driving by. She takes a good look at him in the middle of her spotlight with a police cruiser. She smiles at him, which was weird. And then she takes the right fork in the road while he takes the left. And this is all after he's like saying in narration that he wants to, once he gets wherever he's going, he wants to lead a more regular life.
Right.
So,
probably will.
But it's like, does she suspect him? Does she not? Why'd she smile? I don't know. It's like a confusing ending, but.
Well, it's confusing, but I think that she kind of had like a little crush on him from the beginning. Like, I think she was like fending a little bit, just like unable to really show interest in any way. Cause but she was sizing him up the first time on the beach. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. It seemed like he was cute, but didn't really know how to say it or didn't want to say it or whatever. And so maybe this is her weird way of flirting with him again, or maybe she didn't even recognize him. Or again, like I've been saying before, maybe a lot of this stuff is happening inside his own mind. And
maybe she didn't smile at him and it was just in his head.
Maybe she doesn't exist. Maybe like it's just,
or maybe it wasn't her and it was some other state trooper too. If she does exist. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting movie.
And they play this really creepy music during that scene too. Really stabbing music, like
and then we get into the credit song, which I really like. I like the soundtrack to this movie is amazing. There's a song at the end called Infinity, performed by Bryony Atkinson and Inara George. I love that song. They also perform another song in there called the Pouch Song, and they also perform another song called Soft Shoe Shuffler. I don't know what their deal is like as far as musicians go. I'd have to look them up really quick, but I love her voice, the singer in it. Irana George. She's an American. You'd think with a name like that, she would be like foreign, but she's an American singer, songwriter. And she was like a member of a group with Bryony Atkinson, trio called the Living Sisters. Oh no, she was also in a trivia with that, but she was a member of a band. Merrick is the name of the band that she was in with Bryony. The song Infinity is just a beautiful song. And it ends the movie in the credits, and it's a perfect cap to the movie. It's just this kind of creepy sounding song, but it's good. Yeah. So I recommend listening to the soundtrack on like Spotify or something if you can. Anything else you want to say about this movie before we wrap things up?
No, not really. Just I'd recommend it if you're looking for something a little bit more, like low key stuff that you actually kind of have to watch, like a bunch of bam bam stabbies going on.
Yes,
that's going to be your new movie though, right? Boom boom stabby.
Yeah, boom boom stabby.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a romantic comedy, and just call it boom boom stabby, and there's no boom booms or stabbies in the whole movie.
No, there's no false advertising.
Yes, I'll make a movie called False Advertising the movie. So, folks, hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to give us a like and a subscribe and comment on our episodes anywhere you can, and give us a 5-star rating wherever you can, like on Spotify or the Apple Podcast place or the other places you can. Check out our website, all2reeltoo.com. There's links to our social media, our TeePublic where you can get some merch, and our Patreon where you can help support the show. Other ways you can help support the show is by spreading the word. Maybe move to a small town and rent a room somewhere, and just kind of get to know the couple that you're renting the room from. if you got some time, maybe, poison a couple people. But don't poison them all. Tell everybody else to listen to our podcast. Okay. Yes. So make sure you do that. Maybe don't do the poisoning thing. Maybe don't do that.
Definitely don't do that, actually.
That might not work out okay. Because last time I checked, people die when you poison them.
Yeah.
So, free Palestine, folks. Trans lives are human lives. No human is illegal. Be different. Be yourself. Be kind to each other. And remember that I love you. And again, don't poison people.
No, don't do it.
No, don't do that. Sesame loves you. And until next time.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to All2ReelToo podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.
Doug. Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now, we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu. Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say. That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.